Here's my Eric character from my Lost Island movie. I did nearly a whole movie with just silhouettes because silhouettes is easier, but I'll show you how I do the cut and paste here. So we have Eric, and we'll go over here and get my lasso. Here's my lasso. See, I get my lasso, and I cut it by outlining what I want to pick up. Okay, I didn't pick up the rifle because it's a separate picture. So come down here and do shift and add. Okay, so now I have the rifle, the hand silhouette, and the arm silhouette cut. So I come up here and I do modify. Modify what? I'm going to transform, free transform, and you can rotate. Here, I take this corner, I rotate it. Okay, I move his arm up here. So he's raising the rifle, and we got some issues down here that have to be rejoined. Let's go over here and get the zoom tool, get the plus, make it bigger so it's easier to see what you're doing, and go up here and get the paintbrush. I don't like this small paintbrush, we'll get a little bigger one. Okay, we seal that part off, and I guess the top part needs a seal. Then we get the bucket and we fill that. Okay, and then we make it smaller so we can see what's going on. So that's how you do cut and paste. You cut it and you paste this thing back in, and so it's an easy way to do animation. I didn't have to redraw his face or anything else. And you want him to have him talk. Let's put in a keyframe up here. Insert keyframe. Let's do one where we cut his jaw and make him talk. So a keyframe is where there's a change in movement. So once again, I'm going to make it bigger so I can see what I'm doing with his mouth here. Grab my lasso. So for this keyframe, we're going to open his mouth and make his jaw go down. So we make his jaw go down, we get up here, we grab the paintbrush, we fill in there, maybe there, so it looks like he's opening his mouth. We fill in the hole with our bucket fill. Okay, then we can make it smaller so we can see the whole character here, what's going on. Okay, so there he is, he goes, whoop. And opens his mouth and close, open his mouth and close, and then we can do a whole bunch of that. We can copy these frames, these two frames here. Copy frames, and then we paste frames, and then we paste frames, and then we paste frames. Okay, well, we got so many frames in here, we're moving what happened later further down the sequence, so I gotta delete those frames. So remove the frames. Okay, and then I did one too many, so we gotta insert a frame. Okay, so that's lined up the way it was before. So we got the guy talking here, and that's how I do my basic cutout animation. But then I always try to, the less animation you do, the better, because you want to do it quickly. So why do you want to do it quickly? Well, animation takes a lot of time to get the movement, and if you want to do something like the original Shrek movie, it took 400 man-years of animators. You want to spend 400 years doing your animation? It took $200 million. You got $200 million? Well, you don't have to do it quickly. You can make a really fine looking image with $200 million. I don't have no $200 million. Okay, so let's say we wanted to show Eric walking. One way is not even animate the walking. Let's get rid of this frame up here. We'll make that invisible. Okay, so we got Eric here. I have put in a background. So we got a background, or foreground in this case. So I'm going to move it. So I have set up a movement from one end to the other. So the the background or foreground moves, okay? So we got that moving, but we want Eric to be walking. And so let's pretend, that's what I have the gray frame around here, let's pretend that this is all we're showing, although this whole white area is what actually shows on the view when we actually make our movie. But let's say that we expanded all this so that it took only this much of the white areas, and that's all you were showing. Okay, so we have Eric here, about here. Okay, so we're doing 12 frames a second. So every few frames I'm going to have him move. So I insert a keyframe and I have him go up. And then I insert a keyframe and I have him go down. Then I insert a keyframe and I have him go up again. Maybe not as much, maybe a little forward or back, or maybe I'll put in a keyframe here, have him go down a bit. Okay, so it's going to be like he's stepping and walking, right? Okay, so let's do a whole bunch of those. So I'll copy those keyframes. Copy frames. Let's see what's looking over here. Okay, so we want everything to end up lined here. Okay, so I'll paste those frames, and I'll paste some more frames. Same thing. Okay, so we scooted all these way out here. We don't want those way out there. We got a demonstration next coming up on walking. So we remove those frames, so this comes back here. Okay, so we're here, and he's going up and down and up and down. Okay, so we'll make the frame reappear. Okay, so let's pretend that this is our screen size. Let's get over here where we can move him. Okay, so he's going up and down, the background's going by, so it's going to look like he's walking. So let's get rid of these selected cross-hatching here, so it's easier to see what it's doing here. Okay, so now the guy is walking up, down, up, down. Whoop, too fast.